all yours.
Okay, and Sajjad, we're with the PTV, Pakistan TV. Okay, Sajjad, the UNDP is working with the government of Pakistan to improve monitoring and evaluation of the government's poverty reduction strategies. Why is this so important?
I agree with your question that UNDP, why they are working with the government of Pakistan. Because it has been noticed by the UNDP that some of very important programs and projects of the government of Pakistan could not yield the desired results. So that's why UNDP stepped in to improve the efficacy of the implementation of good projects or good strategies.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are the weaknesses that have been uncovered by the current monitoring and evaluation process?
I think presently the weakness, it is in two ways. First of all, accountability is missing. Accountability of the implementing officers or people. The second thing, it is the projects for whom these are being designed or these are being implemented, they are not involved fully. So, in my view, in UNDP view, until and unless there is accountability factor in the overall monitoring evaluation mechanism, it won't succeed. One. Second, we need to include the poor for whom we are making all these projects. If they are not included, if they do not know what government is doing, what UNDP is doing, in what area, how it would be monitored properly. I mean, the government is monitoring it, but the actual monitoring, it is to be done by the people themselves.
Exactly. And I know that the UNDP talks about results-based monitoring and evaluation, but a lot of critics say this is just rhetoric, that you collect a lot of your results, but the results are not as good as you would have liked them to be. So how can you call it results-based when there's really no change?
I think what you want to say, it is that why result-based monitoring is being adopted by the UNDP, I mean in the present regime. It is true, because as I mentioned in the very first question, there were some few examples where we couldn't deliver the desired results. So that's why results-based monitoring. What is the results-based monitoring? It is first when you design a project, then you also have certain input-output indicators which you monitor, which would tell you the story in which way the project is being implemented. Results are being monitored on regular intervals. Because if you monitor at the end of the project, earlier it used to be at the end of the project, that was a project completion report. Then at that time, a lot of time had been spent, money had been spent.
It was too late.
So that was too late. So this is result-based monitoring, that you have to intervene during if it is not monitoring, if there are certain bottlenecks. So that's why UNDP is nowadays advocating for this results-based monitoring.
But you know as well as I do that this is really just a change made on paper. I mean, you're not really changing any of the projects. You may be monitoring them, but who's going to say, oh wait, we're going to have to stop this project right now because it's not working? You're not going to tell that to the donors. I mean, you're just going to keep going, even if the results are not what you expected.
I'm sorry, I do not agree with this philosophy. I don't think so it is happening in this way. There are a few examples which we closed the project while it was at the very initial stages, and it was felt that it is not going to deliver the result. We had the discussion with the government, because most of the development projects are approved by the Planning Commission in annual development program, and they release money, the government part, and then the donors part is also dovetailing. So there are few examples I can give it to you, wherein some of the projects were stopped, like Tawana, Pakistan. It was basically for this girls' nutrition program. It went for 1.5 years or so. Then there were some problems, and because of those problems, then it was abandoned.
So these girls are not getting any nutrition now?
No, they have started a new project in place of that after removing those some gray areas.
Mhm. Now, how do you get poor, illiterate people to tell officials who are coming in and doing the monitoring what they really think? I mean, particularly if the feedback's not going to be good, do you think that they're really telling the real story when people from the outside come in to do the monitoring?
Actually, as I mentioned, no, right now we are not involving the people for whom the project has been designed. So that's why I was in the very beginning, I said, now we are thinking to involve in monitoring process the person or the people for whom the projects are being monitored.
But aren't you worried they won't tell?
No,
the
they
real
would
story?
tell. I'll just give you an example. We have pilot tested in one of the schools. Actually, people used to tell us, I mean, there are, student, teacher, parent monitoring councils in schools. So whenever the parents used to go to the school, the teacher, I mean, the administrators, that this facility is not available, drinking water is not available, latrines are not there. So they used to tell, I mean, there are no budgets. So if, I mean, and now I'm talking about this monitoring by the people. If the budget of the school at the start of the year, financial year, if the budget, whatever it is given to that, if it is put on their notice board, which is accessible to everybody, I think then no teacher or no headmistress or principal could say if we have not received the sufficient budget in that head. So it would help the administration of the school accountable in front of the students and the parents.
And finally, is effective monitoring going to is it gathering information on women? How do you overcome the problems of getting women to speak frankly and to participate in the monitoring when in a lot of cases they're not allowed to speak to people outside their homes?
There are various initiatives in this direction already being taken. One, it is gender responsive budgeting. There are, I mean, when the budgets are being prepared by the concerned ministry, line ministries, they are provided to they are required to provide data, gender disaggregated data. And when this gender disaggregated data is received, then it is compiled in our section, and then we disseminate in some workshops where women folk are there, and we present the data in front of them, and then they speak out their mind about the efficacy of the gender, I mean, the budget which addresses the...
You're confident that you're getting
Yes.
the right information about women?
It is, I mean, at a very initial stage, but I hope with the passage of time, people will get educated, women will get educated about the rights, about the information. Actually, access to information is key. So if we provide access to information, definitely, I mean, the people would learn and they would cross-question our successes or whatever we will tell them.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so now we know everything about monitoring and evaluation after two interviews.